All right, what's up, everybody? Good afternoon, good evening. I almost said good morning. It'll be 9:19 in a second, p.m. That is, not a.m. But not a lot of change to talk about. But I figured Shelly was around, I was around. We'll do a quick update and just kind of show you the latest. Very sloppy system we're watching. Hey, Morgan, what's up? No coffee. I'm drinking Red Bull. Jason, man, that was a cool video, wasn't it, buddy? Don't eat all your hurricane snacks, Martha. We're going to wait a minute, let everybody check in. What's up, Amy? What's up, JR? Bolivia, yeah, we're going to catch up, everybody. Good job. Hey, Jerry Coe, how you been over there in Middle Florida? Indian Rocks is cool, man. Could be a little dodging raindrops, possibly, in Indian Rocks. Jason from Slidell, Louisiana. I was there during Delta. Couldn't remember. There were so many storms in 2020, right? There was a ton of storms. Christina, what's up? Jamie, I just had pork tenderloin at my buddy Phil's house. Rachel made the most amazing dinner. We had some good pasta. It was good. So, I'm going to burn the energy down now talking about the tropics. All right, so we'll be live tomorrow morning, 9:19 Eastern. We'll go great depth. I just want to give everybody an update here. Anything new? Jason, yeah, you can reach out. I got an email on my webpage, man. MikeSwillerPage@gmail.com. Thanks, man. Hurricane Zeta, that's right. God, not Delta. It was the other one. We had Eta, Zeta, and Delta that year. It's so confusing. That's why we got rid of the Greek names. All right. Satellite imagery right now. This is what we're looking at. Real quick, this isn't going to be very long. I just want to give everybody caught up to date with today's modeling. We've got a very sloppy system going on right now. There's no reason to be worried. Modeling that we saw a few days ago, I was a little more concerned because we had a lot of modeling showing this thing really ramping up. But every day that goes by, every day that this thing is becoming less and less organized, it's one day less that this thing gets stronger. So that's kind of good news. Now you can kind of see what's happening here. Huge area. This is the wave we're all watching. There's been a little wave here, and we've got this little bit of low coming around. And I did not try to draw something. But anyway, this whole area is going to pretty much end up working its way west-northwest. You kind of see things coming together. It's very broad low-pressure area. It's going to be very broad low when it gets on the other side of 50, 60 degrees here in the islands. Modeling has not shown anything significant yet to really get worked up about, okay? So we're going to show you all the latest models, timing. Nothing's really changed. If you're in the islands, if you're in the Lesser Antilles, if you're in Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, this thing looks like it's going to pass to your north. It looks like it's only going to be a rainmaker. It looks like it's going to be, basically Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just like that. The big question mark is here or here. If it goes on the East Coast, it's going to keep on riding up, Monday and Tuesday. So that's pretty confident track here we got going north of the islands. Okay, there's all kinds of stuff going on in the atmosphere right now, but this is where we're watching. Latest NHC graphic at 8 o'clock, still 50%. Is not expected to develop until this orange area. This is basically where they're kind of guessing right now the center might end up being. It's been kind of inching up a little bit, merging with this other system. And this is kind of where they expect the chances are going to be. Now you're seeing this slow bend. You're seeing this whole general roadmap here like that. Seems very confident to me that this thing is going to eventually get turned. And again, the question's always been, when's the bend? If anything, we've seen a little more shift back east today. So this is Eastern Gulf, Florida, Atlantic right now. We're not seeing anything really too much Central Gulf westward at all. So very good confidence of this thing doing this bend. It's supposed to, merge with this area behind it, we got a little bit of overall pattern here that's going to kind of pull this up into it, and it's pretty much going to go that way. And again, I'm drawing little funny stick figures. Timing again, I just showed you. Let's look at some of the latest other things. I drew this map out earlier today. Just what it means is this: we got a huge high pressure system that's going to be above it. It's going to be spinning this thing fast its way across, Western Atlantic. It's not going to start developing until maybe Friday. This is Friday, so it doesn't have a lot of time. Systems take time to develop. So, good news, time is not on its side. However, lots of warm water. We got light wind shear, and we got this MJO coming into play. So there's, the negative is the time. The things that could help the system would be the warm air and warm water, the MJO, and actually going to have some light wind shear ahead of it. So there is a window. Like I've been saying, my word of the day for this storm has been cautiously curious. You don't want to say it's not going to be anything, and you don't want to say, oh my God, it's going to be, a Cat 5 hurricane, because we never say never in the tropics. But right now, things are leaning to a weaker system. Now, once it gets here, we'll see, and I'm going to show you that. But anyway, nothing's going to happen until this thing gets probably closer to the Bahamas on later Thursday, Friday at the earliest. So we got a couple days to watch this thing, try to get going. Just kind of throwing out, we're going to tropical tidbits. These are your, basic models that we've used for years. So we'll show you all the latest models. Here's the 18Z GFS. Oranges are high pressure, blues are low pressure. You can kind of see this upper level area here coming into play that we're going to be kind of watching. And, there's Wednesday, going to be rain. Flip over the rain map. Nothing terrible, but just going to be bringing rain Wednesday. Get into Thursday here. It's going to try to, maybe get going. Very sloppy. The GFS has done very little lately with this thing. It's not even developing it at all. Just a couple days ago, we saw that one GFS run that you might have seen floating around the internet. The GFS is always bouncing around runs. But hey, that's one run. Showing nothing. Now, obviously, we got rain attached to this thing Saturday. Definitely could up rain chances over the weekend, but hey, GFS not showing much. It's not doing much at all. The OOZ or 12Z earlier today on the GFS, maybe a little sign of a low pressure off the coast here Saturday, but nothing. Maybe lingering. It showed it stalling out actually, which is that was a one run anomaly. I wasn't even going to share that. Because it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So I was waiting. I wasn't even going to show that one. But anyway, JFS is showing nothing. Euro's been really confident on this right here. Here's Thursday. Basically, this blob of low pressure area is, going to try to get going maybe Saturday. Cross that Gulf Stream. Very, 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 very close to Florida. This is Sunday, and very, 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 very close to the East Coast. This one actually has a stall out too, which I don't think it's going to do that at the 18Z hour. But so that's been the trend of the Euro. The Euro's been trending east of Florida and very close to Florida, but a lot of the ensembles have been even off the coast. So everybody pretty much on this East Coast. Because of the Euro, we're watching it. But again, late development. This is Saturday, rainmaker, and it really doesn't get going until maybe north of Cuba on all the models. So yeah, according to this, it's not too much to get too worked up about. If this thing hugs the Florida East Coast, it could pull all the rain with it, and you know what? We might not have much rain across the middle to western part of the state. It might hog all the moisture. But if it does go northward, we could be looking at Monday and Tuesday here across the Atlantic coast. Now we got the warm Gulf Stream. Warm Gulf Stream has been known in the past to really help intensify storms. It's warmer water. The water next to the coast of Florida is warmer than normal. There is a cool pocket of water here where we had that upper level low last week. So it's on approach. It's going to be dealing with some warm water. We always watch that last second strengthening, but the Euro's not showing it. and that's all I'm going to show tonight. I mean, bottom line with these models, we just don't see any showing anything too awfully strong. So we don't want to make up things when we're seeing consistency right now with this thing kind of staying on the weaker side. Until this system gets some sort of a true center of circulation and actually looks like something. It's got to get the look. It's right now it doesn't look like anything. And these things take a lot of time to get going and consolidate. So we're getting into Tuesday here. We're getting into the point that if it doesn't start doing anything, it's not going to have any time to do anything as far as organizing. So tomorrow's Tuesday. It could be approaching the Bahamas on Friday. That's only a few days. So, tomorrow we're really going to be watching this thing close to see if it can try to get its act together. But right now we're not seeing any signs of convection. It's just, nothing. I mean, it's just nothing. There's a lot of dry air. That was expected. I agree, but the models definitely expected this to be a lot more than what it was at this point. And this is just terrible looking. I mean, if we were talking about a system, that's what we're looking at. I mean, we've done enough of these together to know that it's nothing to get worked up about at all right now. This is that upper level feature, though, the other wave that's kind of coming into play. You can kind of see it here. There is moisture. There is water vapor imagery showing that this has got some moisture to it. So the general thinking is this whole huge setup here. You can kind of see it all wrapping in here, and eventually this is expected to kind of pull into it, and that's why our modeling is having it do that. So again, this little area down here is not really the area that it's going to eventually make it a hard right turn. It's this whole general area that finally, that area that originally we were looking at off of Cape Verde Islands is caught up to the wave out in front. And you can kind of see it here in water vapor. So it's very sloppy, bottom line. If this thing doesn't start looking a whole lot better, I'm really going to question anything out of this thing. But that's a lot of dry air. There's our system. A few little thunderstorms popping here and there. So we won't count it out. It's just not doing anything at all at the moment. So again, more days that we run in towards this, the less and less you're going to see anything. I mean, we know Barrow was a dang, had circulation when it left Africa. So, but that's where we're at with that. Okay, some other models here. Let's look at. So we did the Canadian. The Canadian kind of shifted now. The Canadian was showing it in the Gulf. Now it pretty much has it going smack dab over top of Florida and then exiting. And then, possible little development here on Monday, maybe skirting the Carolinas Monday night. So even the Canadian backed off a little bit as far as that upper Gulf hugging the coast. Now, this is what it did a little bit, just 12 hours before, a little bit stronger system hugging the west coast of Florida and then doing that turn. So a small shift in the Canadian, made a big difference. We'll see if it comes back overnight. The Icon, earlier, overnight, same thing as the Canadian. It was hugging this system right there. But the last run in the afternoon, a little bit more overland, then it plops it out over there and kind of starts to develop it on the Atlantic side. Timing here would be, Saturday, a little slower, just a little bit slower, Saturday. And here's Sunday, and here's Monday. And then the latest, 18Z, doesn't run out that far, but it really shifted a little bit to the east. So, they're kind of catching up to the Euro with that little bit of east shift. Interesting. But sloppy. European AI, same thing. Bahamas, Saturday. And starts to develop it out, and it moves it off the coast here. Develops at 990. And it is showing that one coming off Africa. We'll look at that more in the morning. But, yeah, so there's that one. I want to show you the latest UK model. It's been kind of showing the same thing. A little bit of development. Here's Friday. Very broad winds on the north side. Finally starts to tighten up a little bit. A little bit of low pressure here through the straits. And it's showing, decent winds. Nothing tremendous. And then a curve back over the Atlantic. So you kind of know what's coming here as far as the eventual northwest, north, and then the northeast turn. So I think we're just running into a deal now where it might not have a lot of time because it's nothing right now. It's nothing. There's a lot of dry air still circling in and around that upper air feature from that secondary wave. But if it does this, obviously the focus now shifts from Florida to the East Coast. And that could be another day over water, and definitely something that the eastern parts here really pay attention to, because we could get a clip. We talked about these systems this year, doing less recurves or farther west recurves, and this is kind of where we're at. So I think tomorrow morning, man, is going to be a really crucial morning. If we see the overnight model runs showing weak systems, last second, in order for this thing to really intensify here, it needs to be intensified more on approach. And as of now, it's looking terrible. So systems need a little bit of organization if they're going to rapidly intensify. And right now, it's just models are trending away from this thing development until later. Originally the National Hurricane Center discussion talked about this thing possibly a tropical depression by the Lesser Antilles. Well, now they're saying tropical depression almost to Florida. But as far as plans, obviously this could bring a lot of wind. Could still bring a lot of flooding. We're going to have a new moon on the 4th. This is the 4th. Counterclockwise winds will put a lot of waves and winds towards the east coast of Florida. As this thing goes northward, we're going to be dealing with a new moon. So even a weaker tropical system, weaker or even hurricane, we would still see some pretty big flooding because tide will be exactly at new tide levels on Sunday. So keep that in the back of your mind, especially up here across the Carolinas. So that's that one. So ensembles, let's look at ensembles. They kind of paint the picture too. The Euro has absolutely been stuck on this thing curving off to the East Coast. So I already talked about the shear going to be light. We'll get into all that tomorrow. I just wanted to do an update on the latest model trends. And, the Euro, Bahamas, but Florida, maybe, very few even. I don't even know if we got one touch of Florida. Now, we got a lot of them, clipping the Carolinas as we always got to worry about. But, this is Sunday. Maybe a couple, but yeah, the Euro's trending east. So, I've definitely seen an east tick on everybody's models now as this thing, and slowing, slow organization. Here's the GFS ensemble. Let's take a look at that. Let's see if we see any sign of organization more than we saw earlier. And here is like nothing, maybe one. So today's change from this morning, less model support on anything too strong, and that's good news if you don't want a storm. That's a good trend to have, right? So that's the latest. NHC's still at 50%. And I know why. I mean, they don't want to ever throw in the towel early because of the conditions ahead. But we are going to have a lot of light wind shear ahead. It's going to be entering an area up here that's going to have a lot of light wind shear, a lot of hot water. We got the approaching MJO, so this is the area that obviously they're going to be watching very close. And that Bermuda high has been pushed away. Just a week ago, we were talking about that strong Bermuda high, and guess what? Things changed. This front came out of nowhere, and now we have a weakness that's going to possibly turn this thing a little bit. So there shouldn't be any concerns right now, except staying alert that we have a 50% area being watched, and that's about it. I mean, you can see the spin here right before the sun went down. This whole general area here, trying to wrap around this area here, make some sort of a combo low, and that's kind of where the National Hurricane Center put their X. A little bit higher to the north tonight. You can see that right here. So that's kind of the area, and pretty much that area that this has been smack dab here in the middle of around 50 degrees, 45 degrees for a week. It seems like they've been anticipating this little area to get going, and it kind of hasn't. So a lot of a lot of upper level stuff happening. These two waves combining into one sometimes can help, but it'll be broad lows take a long time to consolidate. And when you start thinking about tomorrow being Tuesday and this thing being over here on Friday, it doesn't have a lot of time. So that's where we're at. It's not over yet, but I like your thinking, Yohel. Judah's doing dishes. Anyway, that the model. I love models. Models have struggled this year, and big time. And if anything that we've seen is a trend away from anything too strong. So, big change in the icon and the CMC now, developing it a little bit to the east and keeping it kind of sloppy later, and not really doing anything with it until it clears Florida. So, yeah, I mean, so right, listen. Nobody should be worried. We get these all the time. The orange area is not the cone. The orange area is anywhere the NHC believes that we could see a center of circulation develop. And until we get a center of circulation, we will not get an invest. So a lot of folks are asking about where are the spaghetti models. Spaghetti models only run once we have a center of circulation, and enough that they believe that's going to be the true center. And I don't know, we just don't see it. I know we got this little area here right along the intertropics convergence zone. That's kind of what they got marked, but it's eventually going to get kind of pulled up north to this other wave. So I think it's more of which wave is going to become dominant. I don't even know if they show the two waves anymore. Yeah, there they are. That's kind of it. This wave is riding a little bit north, and it's going to end up merging with this wave, and sloppy. All right, this is sloppy. Nothing. It's not as anything tonight that we should all be worried about. So how about that? There's no other storms brewing. If we saw them, we would start to see them on the map here. That little spot that left Africa, believe it or not, starting to fizzle out. They normally do. Man, yeah, this is what we're looking at. This is terrible looking. So it's not what I'm used to seeing as far as a developing tropical system, that's for sure. We've got a very broad area here, and I don't know if there's enough time for this thing to actually do anything. But I even thought they might lower it to 40%, honestly. But it's a 50, so should we be nervous? Nobody. I just said nobody should be nervous. There's nothing to be nervous about. I would, you know, until we see something actually there. We've never predicted a system to get nervous about that wasn't there. How about that? Anytime the threat level increases or the tone increases is when we actually have something. And right now, this is what we have. We have nothing. So if in the morning we see a whole bunch of convection popping, then I'll change my tune a little bit. But I'm just going off of what I've learned in my experience. A week ago, 5 days ago, the models were all over this thing, and yeah, I was like, hey man, we got this. This could be something. But now we're watching in real time, and this ain't happening yet. So we'll keep it. It's all about that convection. When you start seeing some bursts of convection out there, then we'll know. And again, it's not really supposed to do anything until here. So this whole area's got to make it to here Thursday and Friday. And we got all kinds of stuff. We got upper level low here going on. We got big old front here. The atmosphere is just a complete mess tonight. There's all kinds of stuff happening in it. But I'll get into other conditions in the morning as far as temperatures and MJO and dust and sow and shear. I'll look at all that. I don't want to do it now because we'll be live in over less than 12 hours. So that's it. Officially, we're supposed to have a lot more storms. So 22 more storms apparently, but I don't know about that. 22 is a lot of storms. That's what they predict. So yeah, we're just gonna kick back and watch it for a day. Nope, Chili's. I would love Chili's. Who's Nikki? We had home cooking tonight. So yeah, anyway, just want to give you an update. Anything else we talk about? You're welcome. Stephanie Stokes, what's up? That's right. Hey, it ain't over. Plenty of opportunity to come, right, Jim? Season's not over because the system's not looking that healthy. Trust me. Still July. And it's just the way the tropics roll, man. It's a roller coaster. Models shift one way and reactions come after. They shift back the other way, reactions come the other way. And right now, nobody really knows what's going on. It's because 9 times out of 10 when we have an area of interest or, an X, we have clear convection and clear low pressure. And we don't have that right now. So we'll see what it does in the morning. As always, I'll wake up early and I'll turn on the old phone and I will be very curious. First thing I'll do first thing in the morning, I'll look at the NHC and see what their 2 a.m. update says. If it's 40, I'll say, If it's 60, I'll be, oh. If it's 50, I might be oh, because I'll be like, oh. A lot of O's. And then I'll look at satellite. We'll see if there's any sort of, popping going on. And then, of course, look at the models. Go tropical tidbits. We'll look at all the models and see what the 00Z models look like. And if we don't see any shifts, if we keep seeing these little minor shifts east and less time to develop, it's becoming more of a, nothing burger, at least for Florida. And that we might be shifting more towards the East Coast for Monday and Tuesday. If this thing keeps trending a little bit more east overnight. But until we get a center, there's no center. So kind of pointless, really. SpaghettiOs. After this morning's live, I kind of felt like maybe I should buy some SpaghettiOs. That would be a cool hurricane snack. Mikey, the dust is usually winding down here on this where the system's at, but there is a lot of dry air. The dry air is still there, so not the best conditions currently. You can see it starting to wean out a little bit. I mean, there's a huge difference if you think about it. Actually, we started here. This was I can't remember how many days ago this was. I can't barely read the screen. 26. So this is about 3-4 days ago. Something in my mouth. 3-4 days ago, the 25th, we had a huge. So the darker the reds, the more dry air, the more dust. You can see where it was just 4 days ago. Here's where we're at now. And you can see things really starting to lighten up a little bit. You start to see little holes, little pockets. So there's there's where it was. Here's where we are. So big difference. If our system was where it was, 4 days ago, that's a tremendous amount of dry air and dust. But here's where it is now, and you can start to see things lightening up a little bit. So usually when you get close to the islands here, systems have a better chance to get going. So that's why you don't want to count it out. Don't want to count anything out. I mean, really, curiosity is this system here that's showing up this low. It's got some spin to it. This really isn't the area that they're watching. It's the overall 500 millibar. Here's your 500 millibar winds here. So, and our other area is about here. So they're very displaced. But this is supposed to move up here, wrap around it, and maybe. So we'll see what it looks like in the morning. A lot of speculation right now. Bottom line tonight, nothing's changed. It's still 50% chance. The bend to the north and the northeast is becoming more and more likely. Obviously, there's the latest. It's becoming likely this thing will not develop until deeper into the western Atlantic, which means less time to strengthen. But I'd be very cautious, if it starts to strengthen here, what it could do if it does not recurve all the way, Monday, Tuesday here. So, we'll see what the modeling is overnight, but definitely not something you want to not pay attention to. How about that? It's just the models shouldn't be causing any concern tonight. So how about that, Kathy, with some popcorn? What's up, Richard Drago up north? How's it going? Oh, let's see. So the next name would be Debbie with a Y. It does automatically update, Jessica. Yep. Not even invest, Mike. Correct. Disney should be interesting, Richard. Could be off to your east. Remember, a system off to your east might be nice. You might not have anything, Here's what it could look like. I mean, I debated sharing this earlier, and I decided no way, because it looks a whole lot worse than what it really is. But if you want to look at kind of what the satellite imagery could look like with our system, this would be kind of it. I mean, that looks scary, right? This is the 18Z. So I was going to, share that, but that would be irresponsible because it's not technically anything other than maybe a tropical storm if the pressures are correct. But, that's what it could look like. This would be Sunday. I think Sunday. Yep, Sunday morning. But if it's starting to organize, the west side of Florida might not get much because it's going to wrap in the moisture. So, there's supposed to be some light wind shear this, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We'll get into all that. This is the latest Euros, what it could look like. Looks scary, but really it's, still triple or quadruple pressure readings, 1,000 plus. So, but don't think it's going to be a complete washout for anybody, because if it rides the East Coast, then the West Coast might not get anything. So, and if it goes farther east, nobody might get anything in the state. If it cuts through the middle of the state, it could be pretty rainy Saturday and Sunday across the peninsula. And we'll get into all the effects tomorrow, feeder bands, and talk more about the tides and that kind of stuff. So we'll save a little bit for that for tomorrow. So there you go. That's quick. That's a quick one, David. That's real quick. So please come back in the morning. Lots to watch overnight. We got a lot of model runs overnight. We'll have the 2 o'clock update from National Hurricane Center. That'll be the new orange area. Does it go to 40? Does it go to 60? And then we'll get all new overnight model runs overnight. And we'll get to look at them in the morning together. So that's kind of where we're at. Don't lose any sleep on this one tonight. Nothing to get too worked up about other than be aware, Don't turn your back on it. Tropical storms and Cat 1 hurricanes could still be a big headache, but right now modeling is not showing anything too significant. And I know I say don't look at the pressure readings on these models, but that's if we had something currently. Right now we don't even have anything currently. Now, if this was 10 days away, I'd say, we get a lot of time, but now we're running out of time and we don't have anything. So first thing in the morning, see what the NAC says at 2 a.m. and flip on the old satellite, see if there's a bunch of convection firing down there east of the islands. If there's not, kind of in the same boat. But tomorrow's Tuesday, one day closer to the weekend. So, all right. Great night, everybody. Tune in 9:19 Eastern a.m. We'll be streaming live Facebook, X, and YouTube. All right. Have a good one and see you later.